Okay, so hello everybody. We are here today to talk about some squad platoon leadership stuff. More focusing on the map rating because that's what somebody had requested specifically, as well as battle flow and just general, trying to keep squad cohesive and working together. So, how should I start this? Let's start with a question. I like to always start with a question. Does anybody actually know the reason why I like squad doctrines so much? We'll start with that.
You mean like you like having like 3 medics, 2 MGs, there,
Yep. Like, what is the purpose as a leader? Okay, for having that kind of concept, not even just like that specific, set of doctrine, but the concept.
To keep everybody intact.
Okay. What else? Hi, Das.
Das! Awesome.
Yep, just on time. Redeploying to the Sunday. So yeah, so you don't have a... Okay, so what else? Are you gonna drive there, Tron? Okay, drive me over to Ziggurat. Actually, maybe go to the next step.
If you like.
Yeah, you go for it.
So, one of the reasons why we really need to stick to the squad doctrine is that we need to have balance in our squad, and the ability to heal, have someone that can give ammo, do reps. But we have to have balance within the whole squad.
Right. So, now, what are our 4 tenets? Or tenets? Does anybody know our 4 tenets?
Teamwork, maturity, trust,
And... tactics.
tactics. Yep.
Right. So, why I do squad doctrine. 1, it promotes the idea of teamwork. Each class has a role that they play that benefits the team, so that the team is, like Squanto said, well balanced to ensure that we have all the tools necessary to fight together. Tactics, for the exact same reason, because we need all those tools. We need intelligence, we need medics, we need NGs, right? Maturity, because it takes somebody that's mature, that's willing to say, look, okay, I'm not going to play what I want to play necessarily. I'm going to play what I can play as part of the squad. And trust in this, your guys to be willing and able to do that and willing to switch, right? All those things play into the idea of what BTYR is, and the idea and concept of the squad doctrine. So again, as a squad leader, having a doctrine enables you to ensure that, listen, there's not going to be any problems. All right. So we're gonna get out. We're gonna kind of do a lazy fight here. Okay. The whole point is I want you guys to make your mini maps bigger. So press H and scroll in all the way. Okay. So we're here. We're gonna look at what happens on the minimap when people come here, right? So what do they do? How they do it? How they move? So do I get an info? No, we don't. Okay, I'll go info because we'll need that. Okay, so we're just gonna watch. Hopefully this escalates a little bit, and we'll see. Just yeah, they got a guy behind. Yeah. So what do we notice right now about this one guy that I'm chasing over here in south? He's doing a hard flank. What does that? How does that benefit him or his team?
well, if he's in a squad, it puts the squad leading down, all of a sudden it turns from 1 to 12.
Right. Now what about battle flow? How does it change the battle flow right now? Exactly. Right? Changes the focus of our squad. Okay? So as a squad, how we dealt with it was exactly what we did. Have a few people fall back. And the rest stay on the focus, right? So as a squad leader, you can essentially say, okay, look, I'm going to need somebody to go kill that light assault, or a couple people go kill the light assault. Who can do that? That guy goes, then you can order the squad, say, hey, listen, let's stay over on the rest of this other side. Okay? So we're going to stay by point. No, we're not going to go crazy. We're going to stay on point-ish area. We're not, like I said, we're not too terribly concerned of what's going around. Well, okay, so look at the minimap. What is the minimap saying? Where are these guys going?
Cover me so I can get them ass up.
So where are these, the enemy, where are they going primarily? So either towards the vehicle term side or the building on the northeast side, right? So, as a squad leader, what does that mean? Anybody? Yep.
Versus World War. We're gonna have places don't work gold.
Stay frosty. This fight is all but won.
Well, we do need a beacon set up. In case our sun.
Okay, but we're not worried about so much the beacon part. We're just focusing on battle flow right now. Okay? What is the battle flow? How do we change the battle flow? How do we adapt to the battle flow? Because the battle flow isn't static. It changes, right? So, for example, Damasta is on a side. He's way up front. He has little resistance, okay? But if we look on, you know, let's say those three guys weren't over on the left side over here, right? On the northwest, or those four guys. The chances are the enemy would go path least resistance, right? Just like we do. You don't go towards where you're going to get mauled or shot at right away, right? Everybody say for the Republic, by the way. So, the battle flow changes, okay? So, let me show you on the map, because we're going to stick in this base, because it's a nice, easy base, okay? And I'll draw on the map for you guys. So, spawn room is over here, so the people watching the video later, you'll get to see. And the teleporter room is here, okay? The main areas of approach are these yellow lines, okay? Those are the more direct routes to get to the point. Okay, does everybody see that so far on the map? So if you press M, you should be able to see if you zoom in at this base.
I see it.
Yeah, it's pretty light.
Oh,
I see it.
no, sorry, I just deleted it by accident. Yeah, hold on, I'll reset it. I think it's a knifer.
Zoom out a little bit and then get better.
I got you, Doc.
I'll do a little bit more lazily here. Okay, there you go. Does everybody see that? So those are the main ways they can attack, or that they'll come from their spawn. So those are your two main battle flows. Okay? You're either gonna stick left or right as a squad. And you're gonna watch what the rest of the TR is doing. If you're the only ones here, okay, you're probably going to stay in this area here, this green zone. Okay, you see that green zone? That's the point control zone, pretty much, right? Now, you can expand that a little bit as well, because there are some areas that are further back that you can use as angles, okay? But ultimately, the whole thing is if you're one squad, in order to mitigate the amount of battle flow attack lines that they can attack you at, and maximize your firepower in return, is to essentially make it so that they have to collapse at specific areas. But you'll notice that they have other options. So I'm going to draw some lines to show those other options, which also mean that they can kill our Sundays with these other options, right? So instead of going directly, they can go all the way around to hit the point from behind, right? So now, is that a big issue if we're focusing on staying in the green zones right now?
I mean, if they're flanking around and attacking us from the rear.
But what would make it more of a problem?
If we're just all focused in those areas for the choke parts of the green zone, and we're not actually able to fire on the forces that are coming up behind us and going and flanking around to our Sunday.
So how do we expand or have eyes other than our main focus, which is recon? Exactly. So again, why do we have a squad doctrine? The master. Why do we have squad doctrine?
So you have a little bit of everything.
So you have the things you need to ensure survival and success. So if you're in the green zone, yes, they're primarily going to come from the front, but they might come around from the back. And if you don't have that info, you're dead. Because as soon as one guy gets in the back, it's a mess. Your game's over, pretty much, right? Okay, so does anybody know what other battle flow line can happen in this situation right now?
Are we going to include gallon drops and belt drops?
Thank you. Perfect. Yes. This game is not 2D chess. It is 3D chess. All they have to do is boom, with a galaxy right on point, or like some of them like to do, boom, they get on top of the building right here. Now you are in a predicament, especially if you don't have the right cover, because essentially they have the elevation, and they can have their own cover with that elevation, and they can just shoot down at you, right? Now, is that a major problem if they go on the building specifically? It can be. Why, Stiffy?
You can use it as cover.
Okay, but also they can use spawns like routers, and they can use beacons, right? So again, why do we have a squad doctrine?
You got light assaults to take them out.
Exactly. So even if you're doing a casual squad, okay, let's say you're doing the most casual squad in the world because you're so worried about leading, you don't want to overstress yourself. If you can just at least try and encourage the idea of getting one infiltrator, one light assault, one medic, and one engineer, you're golden. That's 4 people out of 12 you just got to convince to play one class each. Not the end of the world, right? I mean, that's not the most ideal way of doing it, because you're going to need more medics to make sure you stay alive longer. You're going to need more engineers because engineers can offer different tools, right? Like mana turrets, and have them using shotguns and all this jazz, right? But yeah, so in this situation, if they drop on the roof, not a big problem. Throw that EMP grenade up there, boom, their beacon's dead. Get that light assault up there, boom, their router's dead, right? It's not always that easy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we're just going off of this. Now, if they drop right on the point, is that a problem?
Can be, because if we're not even at point, they could actually just take the point and just hold that position.
Okay, well, we're going to go with the ideal that we have stuck to the green zones.
Okay.
Is that a problem? Somebody else. I want to hear Das. Das, what do you think?
Depends on the numbers they drop with, but generally no, because they won't have spawn logistics.
Won't have spawn logistics. We'll see them coming. They'll drop right in amongst us, and we can create easy kill zones, right? Now, the only way it can be a major problem is if we're so drawn into fighting elsewhere that they drop at the right time, and now again, they're amongst us and behind us, right? So that's where the problem could be. Okay? Now, if they kill all of our spawns, are we dead?
No.
No. Why?
Because we should have somebody up there that can put down a beacon.
Put down a beacon. What other option can you have?
Revives.
Revives. What other options can you have?
Regroup, push in.
Well, not even regroup, push in, but let's think of actual spawn options.
Routers.
Routers, okay. Something less immediate.
Drops by air.
Gal drops. Get a galaxy up. Have somebody come and bring a galaxy over before you get wiped. Get Sundays. Have somebody go fall back and get a Sunday. Encourage the idea that, yes, look, I need one guy to go get a Sunday. Or if somebody does pull a Sunday, you can ask them, why did you do that? Please bring it here so that we have a spawn option. Or just trust that they're going to do that, right? Like, those are the kind of things squad leaders should be thinking about, is saying, okay, look, this is the situation I'm in. How do I improve my situation? How do I ensure survivability? And how do I get the tools and stuff necessary to continue fighting, right? But now, sometimes that doesn't always work out perfectly, as you guys have seen with me. So, let's go with your wiped. Okay, squad wipe. What do you do? Timer, let's say the timer you got to 2 minutes 30 seconds, 30 seconds left on the clock. You got totally wiped, enemy took it over. What do you do?
Drop on it again.
Okay, that's option 1. Does anybody else have a different option? What?
What was it again?
Take out their spawns.
Okay, yep. I said, if let's say you guys got wiped, okay, you're the squad leader. You were just, on the point. 2 minutes 30 seconds. There's 30 seconds left. Squad wipe. They come with a whole bunch of people. Doesn't matter the numbers. All the spawns are dead. What do you do?
Pull off, wait for them to leave, and redrop it.
Pull off. Okay, yep. So there's that one, the gal drop. What's the other option?
Oh, hi.
What's the other option?
Kill them all.
Okay, so we already said gal drop. We already said tank push. What's another option? There's always more than just two options.
Push another front.
Yeah, we could push another base and get some of the guys off that area, so then we can use it as a distraction, kinda.
Absolutely. How about sneaky Sunday?
That too.
Bringing a Sunday from a totally different angle. Okay, here we go. Bravada PMC compound is probably where you guys would start, correct? You would always try and bring Sundays from there. Why would you bring Sundays from there? Because it's the shortest distance. Where else could you bring a Sunday from, though?
What was the question again?
Where else could we bring Sundays to this base from instead of Bravada PMC because it's the shortest distance?
Moss Ridge and Genesis terraforming.
Moss Ridge. Okay, it's a little further back. Genesis terraforming, yes. We also got Woodsman ASC Labs, where you can sneak in behind them and park it on the totally opposite side here, right? Because again, they're going to focus, as soon as they wipe you, they're going to focus where? Where are they going to immediately go? They're going to go where the lattice line is, right? Lattice line is, or before the amp got taken, was Bravada PMC. So they're going to look that way, right? Or they're going to look for gal drops. If you have a Sunday coming the opposite way, parked, you can come in right behind them. And there you go. Problem solved, right? You're back on point potentially, and you're now only 1 minute to 30 seconds left instead of having to refight at 4 minutes or 3 minutes, right? Okay, so let's get back in the Sunday.
Everybody, let's go to the Sunday.
Is there any questions about that so far?
Oh, that's really good.
Okay, so while we're going to the next base,
Oh my god, I love just. Why did nobody ever tell
We're
me the
going
uppercut
to-
was so good?
where are we gonna go here? Okay, you know what? Actually, let's do this. I want you guys to look at the map, and I want you guys to tell me what you think is a good fight to go to and why.
I just want to do a quick capsule and pass this car off right now, so that's a pretty good spot to go to.
Okay, anybody else?
That or X-Tab power regulation.
Okay, anybody else?
Mulak, there's just a couple bases. You can cut off a couple territories.
And they were hot making.
Okay. Sorry, somebody was hot micing. Yeah, so let's look at, X-Tab power regulation. Probably don't need to go there. Southern Pass, don't need to go there. Why those two? No, you need to go there.
Southern pass is cut off and we already have pop advantage.
Yeah, so that can be ghost capped, right? Power regulation, you could go to, but there's already 1 to 12, correct? So they should be able to do it, and they have 53%. So you don't need to go there. You could go there, not the end of the world. But Mulak Tech would be the better option. Why? Underpop for us. Cut off 2 territories potentially. Drawing people away from the other fight, the Nettlemeyer guidance, right? So when you're looking at map reading, what you need to do is you need to look at the situation in and around a base you're looking at to do, right? If you can get a cutoff, try for the cutoff. Okay, so let's try and see Mulak Tech Plant. Okay, what you'll do is you'll look at Mulak Tech Plant. 1 to 12 for us, 1 to 12 for them. They have 70%, we have 30%. We're, let's say, 12 people. We might bump that up to either 53% to 60%, depending, right? What's happening in Nettlemeyer Gardens? 1 to 12, pretty much 50-50. Okay, Mulak Purification Site. There's somebody of the TR there, so that means there's armor around. But now we also have some guy at Southgate Checkpoint of the NC, which could mean air coming in, it could mean armor, anything like that. Mulak Pass has 1 to 12 for both, 50%. Again, that could be armor or air, right? So you don't just look at, okay, this is the base we're going to, that's it. Oh, there's just this number. You have to look around. You have to look at what their warp gate's doing sometimes, right? If they have 12 to 24 of the warp gate and you're going to Mulak Tech Plant, you better believe they're going to smash Mulak Tech Plant. Guaranteed. They're going to reinforce it en masse. So yeah, you gotta look around, and you gotta look at what's happening on the map. Why are we not going for the VS? We don't need to go after the VS. They're not really hitting us for anything. We're hitting them harder than they're hitting us. And see, we have a good opportunity at Mulak Tech Plant, right? Plus, they're taking Ziggurat, so we should go there and take that from them. That gets rid of their ability to get tanks anywhere on the map except for their warp gate. It cuts off 2 territories. Like, there's just so many better options with doing this. Another good option, though, could have been extend power regulation. So that way we could go for Gurney Dam and cut off Nixon's Defiance, which would also be great, especially in this time. And Akon Southern Labs to reinforce that. Even Nom Ravine Checkpoint or Overpass to reinforce that, right? So when you're reading the map reading is actually fairly easy, because all you got to do is just look around. You look around, and then the thing with leading, though, guys, is once you make a choice, guess what? You got to stick with it. Or if you need to make changes, don't be afraid to make changes. Okay? Because literally, how many times do I change things as we go? Probably 6 times. Yeah, because the map and battle space, everything changes in seconds, not in hours or minutes. In the seconds. I could be saying, hey guys, let's go take this base. And then literally 10 seconds later, I can see, you know what? They're going to drop this en masse. And we got to go somewhere else. Yeah, or we just took it. We came in a little late, right? Like, there's just so many things that are happening in the battle space that you cannot be afraid to change your mind or make mistakes. You have to make choices. You have to be pushing your squad to be doing something. And it all rides on you. It's come hell or high water, come success or failure, it's all on you. And you are giving the content, right? So you cannot be afraid to get jobs done or to put yourself out there and make these decisions, right? And that's, if you accept that fact and you get squad doctrine going, it makes your job a lot easier throughout the night in one sense. It can also make it a lot harder because trying to convince people to play certain ways and doing certain things is arguably difficult, right? There's a reason why a lot of people say squad leading is like leading retard cats, right? Or slow cats, okay? Because it can be, right? If you've got a bunch of puppies and you're yelling at them to switch classes or move here and they're not doing it, that's what you're doing. You're yelling and you're getting frustrated, which is why, what do we always say?
Contact southeast.
No, we don't say contact southeast, but what do we?
Contact southeast.
What,
Shot at
what what do we say about people that don't listen in the squad?
We can kick them out, and if they want to join back and start listening, then they have full permission to do that.
Yeah, you don't. It's not that you can. It's you kick them out. You kick them out. If you've told them twice and they're not listening or doing, you kick them out. And if they rejoin, let them rejoin. And if they do it again, kick them out or ban them out. Right? You have the power and the capability to make your life easier.
They have to go back. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. They have to either wake up and focus with what we're doing, whether they're BTYR or not, or they need to leave. Right? I mean, if you have a neighbor that comes over and starts sitting on your couch and just wiping his butt on there, are you going to let him do it? No. Yeah, you kick them out, right? If somebody's coming in to your house and steals your TV, you're not just going to let them do it, right? You're going to kick him out.
James do that to my couch once.
Yeah, exactly. So, don't let anybody here, make your life difficult. If it's getting too difficult, you kick them out. Because that kicking them out smartens everybody else in the squad up, right? Okay, so let's go back to now Battleflow for this base. Okay, somebody tell me what's the green zone? So, the green zone being the most important place that limits the amount of places they can attack you from.
Balconies.
Negative. What is the green zone?
Point over here.
The point. Exactly. Right? So I'm going to put a green box. Why is it the green zone?
Has the most cover.
Has the most cover, and ultimately, how many ways can they come to the point?
2.
Why?
Well, 3 if they light assault over.
Perfect. Yes. 3. Only 3. They can't gal drop on top of you. They can light assault. They cannot come from 4 different or 5 different directions. They can only come in through 2 doors. Right? So you've now limited the amount of possibilities to 3 instead of 6. Because this base, okay, spawn room is over here. No teleporter. But what do they have?
Tunnels.
Tunnels. So with tunnels, they can come in here. Right? They can also rush in to these doors over here. Okay, so I've submitted that, so you should see it. They can also, what else can they do?
Stick her down.
Does anybody know what the red is now?
The balconies are where they drop.
Right, so what's the red? Gal drop on back balcony. They can then go from there and push. Right? Which is a big one. What are some other ways they can come in?
Side doors over here.
Does anybody see the green arrows?
Sorry, I'm kind of like.
And the lifts on the side.
Yeah.
That's
Don't worry
what
about
I'm
fighting too much, guys. The fighting is a secondary thing. It's just to get you guys, when I'm talking, doing something. Just accept your death. Don't worry about KDR or any of that stuff. This is what we're doing is the training. Okay, so look at how many ways they can come in. Right?
A lot of ways.
Exactly. They can use elevators. They can use balconies. They can come in from big garage doors, from tunnels, from side doors, from top doors, from...
Sundays to come in through the gate.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So they can literally drive their Sundays right in here. Exactly. Right? Or from a different base and just charge right in. Exactly. Right? So, the green zone limits all that to just 2. Right? But What if we had a platoon? Okay, so let's delete all that. We're going to put their spawn room on the map. Okay. What, as a platoon, would you set up? Like, how would you set up Squanto?
Like, what are you talking about? Setting up classes or?
No, like, you have a platoon at this base. You want to take this base. How would you deploy the platoon to ensure success?
I would deploy on the back balcony and over by the gun deck to watch them coming up and have them watch the sides for the lift and the light assaults jumping over top. And on the rear back here, the stairwells. They like to come up to the stairwells.
Yeah, so that's good for sure. Usually, yeah, you kind of do. What I do is 2 squads front, 2 squads back, right? Kind of watching the perimeter
Actually.
of the point, realistically, right? Something like that, right? So the whole idea is you can control with just this, right? You have height advantage. You do have cover. You've got places where medics can go to hide, and that still makes it hard for them to attack, right? You got your angles covered. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? Wow, okay. I either lost you all or you're really quiet.
No, because I'm actually following.
So, Das, what is the concept of battle flow? What is battle flow?
SCU,
The way
prepare.
that people move around the battlefield and how it changes with that movement.
Exactly. Is there battle flows that you can get to know, essentially, so that you're more prepared for things?
Yep. Because spawn rooms for defenders are static. along
But-
with teleporters.
If you have all that knowledge, does that guarantee success?
No, because it can change too.
It can change. The situation on the field can change. If you have 2 squads on back balcony, 2 squads on gun deck, and they put a full platoon on that back balcony, you better believe that 2 squads going to have a hard time. It's not impossible for them to stay alive and defend. Just depends on what happens, right? They could suppress doors and they never come in. Or they could just charge in and wipe 2 squads, and now you're down to just 2 squads defending a point, right? So knowing the battle flow helps you to be prepared and to watch, right? Because again, battle flow is fluid. You got to be able to see those pips on the map. You got to be mindful of that minimap as a squad leader so that you can essentially say, okay, you know what? This is where they're coming from. We got to rotate the squad. So squad, we are no longer on gun deck. We're going to move to back balcony. Right? So battle flow is just as simple as that. Watching that minimap, changing your squad location based on the flow of battle, right? And either moving or staying static, defending or being counterattacking, right? Doesn't matter. You just need to know how to read it. You just need to know how to read that minimap to say, okay, look, they're coming from, look, where are they coming from right now?
Monitor, prepare.
Is anybody near the point that can tell me where there's a Sunday?
That needs to be north.
Exactly. So now where's the battle flow?
Paired
To
north.
the Sunday.
To the Sunday. Exactly. Because we know they're there. We have the ability to push out. They're not attacking point. So now we can move to where the squad waypoint is. And there's probably a Sunday somewhere back here. Yep, there you go. Enemy Sunday right here. And they're in that building. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted fighting myself.
Okay, Sunday.
Okay. Kill the enemies there. So, somebody looking at the map. Somebody that's looking at the map. Who's looking at the map? Patrick.
Time now.
Tell me, by taking this base, what did we do on the map as a whole?
We cut off Blue Lock Foundry, and we also robbed the NC of the tech plant. So
Perfect.
no more vanguards.
Thank you. Awesome.
The only time they can get a Vanguard is from their work gate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is an inconvenience most players are not going to want to take.
Exactly. Only platoons that are organized would take that, right? Okay, so let's everybody press U, redeploy, and you guys are going to look at the map, and somebody's going to tell me where they think we should go next by reading the map.
Nason's Defiance, obviously.
Get out.
No, we're not doing that. I
Okay.
was thinking probably maybe Broken Veil.
Or saving Gurney Dam, because that's being taken right now. And we can keep up the pressure on the NC if we take, or if we secure that and continue pushing.
Okay, so let's do Gurney Dam because, yeah, we don't want them to be able to use Nason's Defiance long term because it just tries to discourage them from fighting there. So, Gurney Dam, how will we get there?
Well, there's a spawn for now.
Okay, so
But not everyone will be able to get over there if it's a low pop fight.
okay, so option 1 is spawn directly, right? What's option 2?
Gal drop.
Gal drop. What's option 3? Pulling Sundays, exactly. From where? Yeah, that's probably the quickest way, right? Now, you do have time to spawn at the Sunday at Hurricane Secure and getting Sundays from that way, but the best route is from X-Type Power with the Sunday, yes. So, we're opting, I guess, for direct spawn. So, everybody come back to the spawn room. Because why am I asking you guys to come back from the spawn room, those of you that already ran out?
So roof up to kick ass.
Okay, that's one. That's absolutely one. What's the other one?
More firepower.
No. Okay, let's go with a map, battle flow map reading concept.
Well, we go and look for the Sunday.
Okay.
Some of the front rows to go north.
Okay, so that's one.
We do have a Sunday, because I saw it on the map earlier.
Okay, so now let's go with something else. I want everybody to use the teleporter in the spawn room. Why did I ask you guys to use the teleporter?
Well, because now we have a full squad to attack them from another direction while all the puppies run in one at a time.
So what's the main battle flow for this fight? As a defender.
Main spawn room directed to the point.
Exactly. Why would you do that?
To disrupt enemy. Yeah, exactly. Alternate.
So, no, but like, why would you go from spawn directly to a point? Is that a good idea?
It's the fastest route.
Fastest route. Is it a good idea?
If you have overwhelming numbers, yes, but under normal circumstances, no.
Exactly.
Especially when there's puppies around, we can take them from behind.
If you're going to go from main spawn to point, you should not take the most direct route. You should take one of the northern or southern routes to the point. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go for the point. We're just gonna I'm gonna show you guys essentially one of the routes. So we're gonna go far north around. Okay, far north around. Why? I literally said it. Why?
Because they don't expect it from the side as much as from head on.
Exactly. They're going to look head on first because that is the path of least resistance. So many people go path of least resistance first, right? You don't want to go path of least resistance. You want to go area that they are least likely to expect you, so that way you have the advantage. They're in the corner. Get that reviving. Okay, they're north. They're coming north now, so let's push north.
They're coming from the southwest.
That's their names.
Group coming in from the south.
Yep. Get revives if we can. Yeah, that's
We're
fine.
still pretty heavily outnumbered.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanted to show you what would happen. So now, nobody respawn, please. Don't respawn. I want you guys to look at the map. Okay? Why did that work when we have less numbers?
Because we surprised them by using a teleporter and doing a route they didn't recognize, or well, that they wouldn't normally recognize us coming from.
So where would you say they were, Squanto? Like, if you had to say paint a zone somewhere, where would you say to me to paint a zone where they were?
They were to the north primarily, and to the west, looking at the spawn.
Okay, so we're gonna exemplify that here. Give me a second. So, okay, you see those red lines and red zones? That's where they were. That's where they were looking too, right? Where are they looking? The main spawn room. Why? Because that's where people are going to come from mostly. That's the most common way to get there. Which way did we go? We went behind them, completely behind them, where they weren't even looking at all, expecting it at all. And as a small squad outnumbered, we capped point. And what did they have to do?
The VS have locked down
And
Anthony.
fall back to the point.
Exactly.
on the red zone.
So what's the green zone? To enable you to essentially minimize your battle flow and have them come to you. What's the green zone? Okay, I've drawn it for you. What's the green zone?
Right on the cover.
Exactly, because there's only 4 directions they can come from. North, south, east, west. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, correct? Now, your external green zones is pretty much, and I'm going to overlap the red, literally anywhere in here. Outside of the point as well. Why? Because if you're watching 2 squads one side, 2 squads the other side, or even 3 squads one side, 3 squads the other side, you can set up, right, to be watching these areas. So 3 squads front, 1 squad back, and if you've got recon, you can see them coming, whichever way, right? But again, no guarantees, because gal drops, right to point, correct? They can come in from other places. Most of them, though, you would be ready for in a situation like this. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, what's battle flow? Somebody, what's battle flow?
Battle flow is direction to the point and direction that the enemy is going to use to intercept you trying to get to the point.
Exactly. It's the flow of people and resources in and around a battle space to or around you, right? And that's why recon is vital. It is absolutely vital to know. Okay? Okay. We have a galaxy. We're going to say we just, as a squad leader, ordered the galaxy. So everybody spawn in the galaxy. And now, once you're spawned, somebody look, or everybody look at the map. And tell me where is the next base we would go to.
Looks like Mulak. They're retaking Mulak, so.
Okay, Mulak is an option. Is there another option at all?
How about let's try going on to like the VS farm for a little bit.
Yeah, let's.
Con 7 Labs is currently the default right now.
Yeah, Akon would probably be the better one for our squad, because Mulak already has the pop 54 in our favor, or construction site beta. But we'll go for Akon because that's where the fight is. We're gonna just go. I'm gonna show you guys where we're gonna drop. We're gonna drop right on point because we want to get right on there. There's only a minute left. By the time we get there, it'll be 30 seconds to 20 seconds. So we want to get right on the point right away, right? Mulak Tech, there's no reason why 57% of the population that's there, that's TR, cannot retake that. So that's why as a squad leader, you can just say, well, don't worry about that. We need to go for Akon Southern Labs, right?
Well, what if the puppies aren't able to retake the tech plant?
Yeah, but that's not your responsibility as a squad leader. Your responsibility is not to worry about what the faction is doing, right? Your responsibility is to worry about what you want to do and what you think the faction needs and where the fight needs you, right? If there's people there, 55%, they should be able to do it. If they can't, that's their problem, not yours, right?
No, fair enough.
I mean, would it be smart to? Yeah, if we could definitely go there. Having overpop is never a bad thing. So we're gonna drop right here. Yeah, overpop is never a bad thing. Don't let anybody make you think that overpop is cheating or is stupid or is any of that stuff. Overpop is necessary at times. Does that make sense? There's no such thing as a fair fight in Planetside 2. Don't even start thinking that there is. So we need to actually go to squad waypoint. Because that's essentially the main building that they can use to push us. And that's where they pretty much all are. And push in there, guys. Don't be afraid to get your squad pushed in and dying. You have to push in. Squads need to push in. B tier needs to push in and lead squads. Or leads the platoons that are around you. Because nobody else likes to push. Now, what's something that we can do as a squad leader while our squad's pushing if we're dead on the map?
Rally in the spawn room?
Or think of other things we could do. We have the point. Do we need to stay on point?
Kill that Sunday.
Exactly. Find and kill the Sunday. Everybody spawn in the galaxy as heavies or light assaults. We're going to drop right over here at New Squad Waypoint. We have the point. We have time to play around with right now. So we can think, okay, let's pull our squad off. Let's find their Sunday. Because now it's time to kill the fight. Right? Let them take the point. If we can kill their spawn, we can retake the point easy from the back. Right? So we're going to drop on Waypoint. 3, 2, 1, drop. We're looking for a Sunder. There's a Sunday right here. There's one in the garage. One Sunday is dead. One in the garage. Put a beacon down somewhere back there. We also have the galaxy still. So we're going to kill this Sunday. Then from there we can push back to the point. Nobody's got a beacon? Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna deploy it on the... Oh boy.
I got one shot off on it.
That's okay. We're gonna have to drop more... Oh, we lost our gal. We got a beacon up though, so try and land on it. Try and get on the back side if you can. Did anybody deploy? Nope.
Nope, beacon destroyed.
Okay. Okay, so let's take a time now, because our main thing is to not to really to fight and to watch. Okay. What is... Okay, we know where they're going to spawn from. Right? Or they could also spawn from... They probably have a Sunday somewhere over here. Yellow zones, correct? Their ways to attack are pretty much from here, either in this way, right? Or like so. Or even this way, this way, right? There's lots of ways they could come in, correct? So, now, what's the green zone?
I don't see a green zone.
There is no green zone for this base. They're literally like the only point where you can control or minimize the amount of lanes. There's none at this base. It is a nightmare, this base. The only green zones are to try and hold these buildings that I'm going to put in green. Okay. One sec. There you go. See those green areas? You have to, in this fight, if you're attacking, you have to control one of the green zones. If you're defending, you have to control one of the green zones. Actually, on the attacking side, it's actually easier, because realistically, all you need to do is make sure that they can't pass this red zone. That's it. If you can make sure they can't pass that red zone, they have to come from the spawn. Oops, one sec. They have to come from the spawn, and even if they do anything, if they teleport, they have to come from literally the front, right? Or gal drop in like we did. Does that make sense? So if you're defending, it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. If you're attacking, it's only a nightmare if you're stuck back at that first building area, right? Otherwise, if you can get to this red zone, you can stop them from coming in all day. Like the cows come home, right? Or till the cows come home. Only problem that you can have is if they eliminate these Sundays on the back, they can set up their own Sundays. Okay, I'm just going to put some lazy red zones back there. And now they're attacking you from the very ways you came from. Right? So now you are forced to defend 4 buildings instead of just 1 and flanks. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Now, again, you could technically defend right on the point, but there's no good way to keep alive there at all, right? If anything, you would have to stay on the very periphery, like hugging the walls of the buildings in that courtyard. That's the only way. And moving around. You have to move in this base. You can't stay static. You can't find a good static position to hold out on, like a point hold, right? So this base is very hard to take if you have nothing more than a platoon and no support. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any questions about this one? No? Okay.
Nope, no questions.
Cool. Okay, so have I hammered enough of the map reading on the Battleflow thing yet? Or do you want me to do another example?
No, I think we're good. Because most of what you've been talking about, is applicable to every single base on the map in some capacity.
Exactly. It's all just, you just gotta look and watch. Reading Battleflow is easy. So long as you have intel, as long as you have that recon, it's super easy. You just watch the minimap, and they're gonna tell you where they're going. And that's your Battleflow. So you adjust to that Battleflow, right? Or if you can't, you find the position and you just hunker down. And you say, okay, this is where we're going to go, because we got to worry about point primarily. Let's focus on that, because we know they can only come in from a few angles. And that's the ones we got to suppress, right? Suppressing fire, do not be afraid to order it. Because you essentially want to have controlled suppression through a door to avoid that. Essentially what you're doing is doing a pre-fire. Right? You're essentially telling your platoon pre-fire. But we call it suppression. Right? Okay. Yeah, so Battleflow is just a matter of watching, right? Map reading is harder. Granted, it's harder because you have to look more around at what's happening. You have to look at the entire map and say, okay, look, NC doesn't need help. VS side needs help. Let's go VS side. Which VS base? Let's go for East Acan storage. You go there, you get wiped, right? You start reading the map again. Okay, let's go for Woodsman ASC labs, right? Ones you'll always go for is, like, they're going to cut off a whole bunch of territory. that's the base we got to go reinforce right away. Right? So if they were going Hate Skydog and getting Chalk Tech Plant, and we were still fighting out Awful Pit, you better believe that you should be going for Chalk Tech Plant, or Chalk Tech Plant, right? To stop that cutoff, right? That's a good map read decision. Okay? So, let's see. What else should I talk about? Yeah, I mean, a lot of PL squad leader, besides all that fun stuff, is giving orders and making decisions, right? You have to be in a position where you are confident 100% of the time. Whether you are not sure or if you are 100% sure, it don't matter. You have to essentially tell people, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, get in line or get out, right? So, don't be afraid to make those orders, make those calls. You gotta do it. You just got to accept the fact that you're in command. And nobody has to like it, but they gotta accept it, right? You're the one making the choices, and they've got to live with the choices that you make, right? Let's just go over to Genesis terraforming while I'm talking. That way you guys can just fight around while I just don't talk, don't make callouts or anything. I'm not incredibly worried about the alert and actually winning anything right now, because we're doing a training. That's our main focus, right? Yeah, so you can't be afraid of that responsibility. It is a responsibility, but you also can't let that burn you out. You know, you're the squad leader. You decide when it's time to do what, when, how. If you're getting burned out of just redeploying, and you should not be redeploying at all, you should be trying to find those lattices and stick with them as long as you can. You got to think about using tanks more, like I've been trying to do. You got to think about worrying about that lattice, and even going back a base to defend the base that you know they're going to attack, right? And setting up stuff. You gotta be ready to make the right calls for whatever the situation is, for whatever you need to. If you need a break from doing the hardcore sweaty stuff, then just take a break, right? Say, okay, we're just gonna do casual, right? Say, you know what, let's just get air ball. Let's get medic ball. Let's do this, let's do that. Yeah, you'll notice I don't need to do that, because I like doing what I do all the time. That's why I play. I play to play hard like I do as a team, right? But if you're less worried about it because you need a little break, that's fine. So just say, okay, I just need you guys to be at this base. I don't care what you do. Just be at this base for a little bit, and then we'll go back to going hardcore after, right? You'll probably actually find that when you do that, people will get back to being cohesive when you ask them to go cohesive, because of the fact that you're giving them that break too. Just as much as you need a break, sometimes people need a break, right? But that also is based on the leader. If a leader can handle fighting long term, then it's not a problem, right? Giving orders, it's easy to give orders. It's hard to give proper orders, right? You can bark and yell and scream and cry all you want. That's not the right way to give orders. The right way to give orders is say, look, this is what we're doing. You either like it or not, that's fine. This is what we're doing though, and you're either here or you're not. And just be mature about it. Just leave it at that. They either join or they don't. They join, great. They don't, great. Okay?
Alright. Medics are off the field for now. We had a pretty good training session.
Yeah, we're doing a training right now with that PLSL stuff. What else do I need to talk about? I mean, realistically, it's just a matter of doing it. You just gotta lead, guys.
Alright.
A lot of what you are going to learn is not from me talking to you guys about it or showing you. It's from doing it yourself, right? It's from getting in there, forming squads, and don't just form squads that are full B tier. Form public squads. You're the only one on. Form a squad, guys. I guess you can't. You gotta have at least one more person now. But find one more person. Ask in the Discord. Get in the Discord and ask in the Discord, hey, does anybody want to get on? We'll squad up and start a public squad. Or Just make it a B tier only, right? Doesn't matter. The whole point is lead, because outfits are not led from behind. They're led from the front. They're led from people getting on and saying, listen, I'm going to get something going. Having the initiative. That's what makes B tier grow. That's what makes other outfits grow. There's a reason why AODR grows, is because they have people that are leading or doing something all the time. They always have something up because they have the numbers, yes, but also because they have people willing to just say, yeah, I'll lead. Whatever that looks like, I don't care. Again, if all you can do is casual, fine. But you better keep those casuals together as much as you can, or at minimum at the same base, just like AODR does, right? And that's the one thing AODR does right. Come to this base. Come to this base. Here's the base. That's all I want you to do is the base, right? That's the most casual way of doing this game. We are more specific. Come to this base and come to this specific waypoint. Everybody get to this specific waypoint because we're going to stick together as a team. Make sense? And I've said this in many training videos before, so I'm not going to go too crazy on this portion of it. If you really need to see any of this stuff, I've got 2 other training videos, actually I think more than that, for how to be a leader. And being a leader is not just leading from the front for B tier either. Being a leader is saying, hey, squad leader, here's a suggestion. You can do it or not. That's up to you, squad leader. I'm not in charge, but here's my polite suggestion that you say in the Discord. Being a leader is getting on and participating, right, with the squad. Being a leader is, essentially getting on the Discord and saying, hey guys, we have a squad up. Come join us. Or getting on the outfit chat and saying, hey guys, we got a squad up. This is being led by Squanto Terror or Gino or whatever. Come join us. Being a leader is, stepping up for doing squad support vehicle or playing a certain class, right? But leading is not always just squad and platoon, right? Now, there is one thing we should talk about is, and I'm going to ask the question, what is the difference between a platoon and squad leader?
Easy. A platoon can lead all the squads, while the squad just leads just its 12 people.
Yeah. So now, which one is more worried about battle flows and map reading?
I would say that the platoon leader is looking at the battle flow of the whole map and trying to decide, where those fights are and where that we can maximize the chances of the TR to take a certain base, and then within that, delegate control to squad leaders, and they should be able to set up their own squads to be with maximum effectiveness at that base.
Okay. So, yes and no. Yes, you're 100% right, but no, you're 100% wrong. And I'll tell you why. 100% right in a platoon setting. So if you have a platoon of 2 or more squads, yes. It's platoon leader's responsibility primarily to watch battle flow, watch map reading, and make those decisions, right? Squad leaders are there to essentially get their squads in their location, watching their specific waypoint battle flow, right? So the immediate locale of them. Keeping in mind some other things too, so that way they can make adjustments where needed, right? Because we're very much the kind of mindset that the Germans had in World War II. Yes, platoon leader is the leader, but if you're squad leader and you see an opportunity or you see something happening that the squad leader has not addressed yet and you have an opportunity to address it, do it first. Ask for forgiveness later, right? But at the same time, right, you're mostly focused on your locale. But if you're just one squad, right, you are essentially a platoon leader. Because you have to treat that squad as a platoon in the sense of map reading and battle flow. Right? You have to be looking at the map more. You have to be looking at the mini-map. You cannot just say, hey, we're going to stay here, and that's it. You have to be looking at the battle flow of the whole space, because even if there's TR working with you, you have to know where they are. You have to know what they're looking at and where you need to go, right? So even as squad leaders in a platoon, you should be thinking that same way. Thinking, okay, look, I'm here, I've got nothing to do, there's nobody coming this way, I'm going to look at the minimap, see where the battle flow is for the base, and react to contact based on that. Saying, squad leader or platoon leader, hey, we're not doing much over here, can we adjust here because of blah blah blah. Platoon leader will say yes or no. If he says no, there's a reason, right? Either he's worried about a gal drop or something else, right? Or he might say yes and you do that thing. Or you see that they've done the thing that you wanted to stop and you do it and then ask for forgiveness later, right? Like that's part and parcel with being platoon leader. But again, what's one of our tenets that would address potential issues behind a squad and platoon leader being at odds in that kind of regards?
Well, teamwork and maturity.
Yeah, maturity is the big one, right? A platoon leader should not take it personal that somebody is doing that and should understand that the squad leader is probably doing that for a reason, right? Just like the squad leader should be mature with the platoon leader and say, okay, this is what you want to do, fine. And if what happens the way you were thinking and the platoon leader didn't listen, you don't say I told you so, you just keep going. Like nothing happened, right? That's the difference. And that's also the similarities, right?
And that's why, one of the things like I have laid out in the Discord is what I think makes people reluctant to lead squads and platoons is they're afraid of getting it wrong, size, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if once a decision is made, we go with it.
Yeah.
And right or wrong, and we don't snicker, we don't counterman the order. That's what that person's doing. Now later on, you can say, hey, in a friendly, respectful way, you can say, hey, that I know that didn't really work out. Why couldn't we have maybe done this instead? Or have you considered that?
Yeah.
I think that's probably a better approach than any of these other guys that get snarky and frustrated and act immature.
And that's exactly it, right? And that's also why you shouldn't ever fear. There's the way I look at it is there's no such thing as a wrong decision as a squad leader. There's no such thing. Because even if you do make the wrong decision, you're the squad leader. That was the decision to make. That was your decision to make. Right or wrong, don't matter. It had to be decided. You had to be the one to decide it. You decided it. That's right. That is 100% right.
Exactly.
Right? There's no second guessing yourself. You're doing it. And if somebody says, I told you so, you just say, hey, listen, buddy, you want a squad lead? You go right ahead. Otherwise, shut your face. Because you're the one making the decisions, not him.
And the more mistakes you learn, hopefully you learn from them and you make better decisions next time.
Exactly. But then again, I've been doing this for over 5 years now of platoon and squad leading, and I'm not perfect. You will always be relearning lessons. You will always be relearning bases because things are not set in stone or static in this game. Things move, the people you're fighting change, the way those fights happen change. Literally anything happens. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Does anybody have any questions? I know I've long-winded on some of these things, but I want to hammer them into you guys and let you guys understand. So, is there any questions whatsoever about anything I talked about?
No, it's all pretty solid.
Yeah, I've got this recorded, so I'm going to put it on the YouTube, and I'll have you guys a link for you guys and anybody else that missed it to watch. And we'll just keep doing that. I'll have those videos there available for everybody, and there's the old videos too that still apply. A lot of the information still applies. This one I think it did a better job of the map reading and battle flow, mind you, but
Absolutely, it's good.
so okay. If there's no questions, I'm going to wrap it up here, and then I do have to go because of other things that are happening. and somebody else can lead the squad to whatever. Otherwise, yeah. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So,
Unfortunately, I gotta go to bed for work tomorrow.
yeah, that's fine. I'm not expecting a lot. Training does take a lot out of everybody usually. That's why I don't like doing them too often. Like once or twice every month, I like doing them. That's it. But yeah, so I think the next one I'll do is gonna be some individual stuff. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay. So you guys have a good night. I will be on Friday because tomorrow my brother's gonna come over. Thursday I'm streaming, unfortunately, but Friday I'll be on and Saturday I'll be on, and I will lead stuff.
Saturday I will not be on because I have another date. So.
Yeah, I'm not worried if you're gonna be on or not. I'm gonna be on. Okay.
Alright, guys.
You miss me, I know you do.
I miss everybody. I miss everybody that comes and goes from this outfit, both ways, every ways. I want people to play. I want to play people to play with. I want to have consistency. I want to be like 5 years down the road and see the same people next to me. That's what I would love to see, but that doesn't always happen. BTYR will be here nonetheless because I love this game and need this game.
Frames.
Yeah, yeah. I had to upgrade my computer for that much.
Well, I mean, I've been around for about 3 years, so.
Yeah, no, I know. All right, you guys have a good night.
Have a good one.
Alright, I guess I'm getting one. Good night. Night, gang. Anybody still on?
Unfortunately not.